This is a Misfit Nation production.
You want to be a friend of the cartel?
Ladies and gentlemen, making their way to the studio, they are the most dangerous podcast in sports entertainment. Crishaun the Don and Wunda from Kayfabe Kartel.
You're staying. You belong to the cartel now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most dangerous podcast in sports entertainment. This is the Kayfabe Kartel. And I am here to give you your kayfabe fix on sports entertainment. I'm going to review Smackdown, yesterday's Smackdown, the July 26th edition, 2024 of Smackdown. I'll be honest, overall a pretty boring, lackluster show. You're going to hear that a lot. I hate to say they didn't wow me. They didn't really entertain me this week on Smackdown. Again, going into my my overall point that, or my observation that I've made, and I think other people have made this observation. Smackdown, the much weaker show now. Used to be that Smackdown had, historically the better show. I always felt there was like periods of time, but right now is an all-time low for Smackdown, in my opinion. Minus a couple positives. Smackdown basically sucks the big one now. But let's start here. It started the night opening with a LA Knight versus Santos Escobar match. LA Knight talking shit all the way to gorilla position, hits the music, he comes out. Big pop as usual. LA Knight is over. They go out, have a standard match. I'm really not a Santos Escobar fan. I think he's a horrible wrestler. I don't understand the appeal. He runs like a fool. He runs like he has a peg leg, and he just doesn't look natural in the ring, Santos Escobar. But yeah, pretty standard match. Logan Paul interferes, and they kind of have a beat down of LA Knight, him and Escobar. And then LA Knight cuts. It's crazy because he went from cutting probably the best promo of his career last week to now cutting probably the worst promo I've ever heard. One of the worst promos, at least. He basically had the delivery of jumping Jeff Farmer. Like he just couldn't, I don't know, he couldn't get to a thought. Like he had no energy. I don't know if they're telling these guys to do this. Hey, when you go back there, don't cut this one with a lot of energy. Be calm. I don't know though, but horrible choice of delivery for that promo. And yeah, not much to say about that. I'll be completely honest. Only excitement I have for the match is that one, Logan Paul, whenever it is a PLE, he always performs. He over delivers in his matches. So that's one thing to look forward to as far as this match. And two, I'm hoping LA Knight finally gets the title here, because LA Knight definitely needs this title win. And yeah, I'm pretty confident that LA Knight's gonna go home with it. I think he's gonna win it. So I believe they have one more show before the go home, or the next show is the go home, the next Smackdown to SummerSlam. So maybe I'll do full on predictions next week, but I'll make some predictions tonight. I guess the predictions that I actually give a shit about tonight. Now let's get, I'm going to go really early on this one. Good point. Sorry, just shouting out the chat here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see Mohammed Bassin in the building. Good point here. Your tug. Why do I always get the weird foreign names, huh? Also, I think SmackDown needs LA Knight to win the title. I believe that's what you meant. Yes, I agree. They need something because Cody, and they also need Cody to fucking lose that title. They really do. This Cody Rhodes experiment has been a complete fucking fail. Complete fail. Yeah. So I'd okay, I see. Boban. This is Boban. Shout outs to you, my friend. Shout outs to you. Appreciate you coming back. Grill Revive, we shouted you out on the main show, buying us another coffee. We appreciate you, sir. Thanks for leaving the like. Thank you so much. I'll get in touch with you on Buy Me a Coffee there. But hey, anybody else want to buy us a coffee? You can go ahead and do that too. Look, I have the banners now. How about that? Buy Me a Coffee over at Misfit Nation, or on Buy Me a Coffee at Misfit Nation. If you want to throw a little support our way. We don't try to force you. We don't try to guilt you into it if you can. Okay, so I'll get back to you guys in the chat sporadically. I appreciate you guys. Let's see. And if you leave a nice comment just like Boban did that gets my attention, I'll read it. But only if it gets my attention. You get what I'm saying? Be good. Leave good comments with substance. All right, let's get to the get the fuck out of here.
Get the hell out of my ring!
Get him the fuck out of here.
Get him the fuck out of here. My get him the fuck out of here is kind of blanketed. And it's not that I want these people to necessarily get the fuck out of here. It's this type of wrestler. This type of character that is plaguing the WWE roster. And that type of character is called ghetto black bitch. Now, I don't mind the ghetto black broad character on the show. However, I've been making this observation that every single black woman on the roster, their character is ghetto black girl. I'm ghetto black girl from the streets. Honey. That type of girl. They're basically, every black woman on the roster talks like a UPN sitcom. Where they at? Now, what I'm talking about is Jade and Bianca cut this promo, and this is going to bleed into the segment that went after, because this was basically Friday Night Blackdown, more than half of the show. And again, I don't mind. It's not that I have a problem with black wrestlers, nothing like that. I'm talking about them having this same cut character. And it's all, and when they cut promos, it all sounds like the same girl yelling at each other. That's the problem. That's why it annoys me in wrestling. It's just like a hood fight. It just sounds like the same bitch yelling at each other. But basically, Jade and Bianca have this sort of this ghetto dialogue kind of thing where Bianca, at least, I can give her the credit of saying at least she kind of sounds genuine when she does it. But Jade Cargill sounds so goddamn forced when she's trying to put on the hood accent, the black scent. And I get the feeling that she's not really from that kind of background, and maybe she is, but she doesn't play it off very well. Neither does Naomi, because Naomi was kind of attached into this, and it was weird because Naomi cut a promo. This is where it all started. Naomi cut a promo, and she literally got like one sentence in, or a couple sentences in, and then she gets cut off by, in a good way, cut off by her friends Jade Cargill and Bianca. But it was weird because Naomi was cutting this promo, like sounding like Naomi. And then all of a sudden, when the two black girls come into the scene, she sounds like she's on the stage of a Maury episode. Like she gets ghetto because the two girls come up and it's oh yeah, oh shit, oh yeah. It's like, why does it, like, I'd rather her just be herself and then, there's these two ghetto birds around her. I think there should only be one or two ghetto birds on the show at a time. I don't think we could have too many of them. And every black female character does the same exact thing. But yeah, they get into the ring, Jade and Bianca, and they just really, it's just a bunch of fucking, they keep screaming, where they at? Where they at? And it just sounds so contrived and fake. And then Jade comes on and goes, I see y'all done ducking and dodging us. Why don't y'all come out here and see these hands? Again, sounding completely forced. Like she doesn't talk like that. There's no way she talks like that in real life. I don't believe it. But yeah, my get the fuck out of here is that type of character. And it's not, again, I don't want the people to get out of there. Because I think Jade is decent. Bianca's great. And Naomi's good for what she does. Well, I don't know. She bores me. But it's like, I don't need every single black girl having to like outdo each other on their ghetto-ness. And then it kind of bleeds over into the same thing happening into another segment of the Street Profits with Kayfabe, who then it just, like, literally, I wanted to play this segment over again because I'm not going to play it because of copyrights, but I wish I could, because I honestly couldn't understand anything they were saying because they were all screaming over each other and they were all just like literally repeating the same thing. Like they're saying it's Terrence Crawford comes in, the boxer. The Terrence Crawford? Yes, Terrence Crawford comes in. And like Kayfabe says something like, they ain't Terrence Crawford, but they, and then the Street Profits repeat something and it's like, hey, and I don't know what the fuck they said, I'll be honest, but they both said it in unison and it cringed me the fuck out. It's like, again, does every black character have to be ghetto? And this isn't me saying that I think it's WWE doing it. I think it's the people that are coming up with the characters, and WWE doesn't really have any kind of like anybody that can tell them like, hey, this is kind of cringe, because WWE is not going to tell the black characters like, hey, this shit needs to change, because then they'll get accused of racism and it'll be that whole thing. But I think it's like, why do all black wrestlers dance for some reason when they throw a punch? They all have a dance kind of move. Why? I don't think that's WWE making them do that. I think that's them choosing to do that. And this is part of it. I think it's like when they say, hey, come up with a character or come up with something that we could present on TV, they all come up with the same fucking thing. It's just like black movies. Most black movies, all the characters are the same. They're all the same thing. There's no kind of like individuality that goes on. And I think it's partially to this political identity kind of crisis that's going on in this country, where a lot of black people feel like they have to be extra black because they're not representing for the blackness, for the black excellence. So yeah, it gets to a point where it's just like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what any of this is supposed to be. And Kayfabe is a horrible talker. She's a horrible talker. She just doesn't sound genuine. She doesn't sound authentic. Really, any of them do. Any of the ghetto characters, they really don't sound. And it's weird because you can't refer to them as ghetto characters, but that's what they're being. That's what they're doing. It's like Apollo Crews. He's not a ghetto character. He's just a black dude. I liked when he was doing the Nigerian thing, because that was at least a black character that wasn't, fucking your average wino laying on the fucking street in front of a corner store. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. That's why I pointed out when Sexy Red came on the show and she came out and does an entrance and cuts promos that sound exactly like every other black woman on the roster. And it's like, she's not a wrestler. She's a ghetto black broad who raps. They're all doing the same thing. And it's not, at the end of the day, my problem with it is that it's not creative and it's not entertaining. Simple as that. Simple as that. Yeah. I'll see if anybody I don't know if anybody wants to agree with that. All right. But yeah, it leads now to this tag gauntlet. And this tag gauntlet took up most of the show, and I thought it was pretty decent. It entertained me for the most part. There was a couple points. There was a point where I thought it started to drag. And the ending was a little off for me, but not it'd be nitpicking. But basically I'll take you through the gauntlet real quick. Here was something interesting. Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews come out. Now I heard these guys were tag teaming. I don't know if this is new, but surprisingly, I thought they had great chemistry. I don't know what they're going to be like on promos, if this is going to be a legit tag team, a makeshift tag team, but I thought in the ring they worked pretty well together. They worked well as a tag team. They had some good double team moves. And I was surprised by it. Because I didn't think they would actually be I wasn't even interested by the pairing, to be honest. But when I saw them wrestle, I was like, that's all right. That's something. We'll see if they're going to make that something in the future. They did actually beat in the gauntlet. They beat the I literally can't remember the name. I've heard the name a million times. Fantastico. I don't fucking know their name. I just wrote down in my notes Spanish group, not LWO. So I think people will get that. Delo Fantasma. Am I close? El Diablo Fantasma. I know it's Phantasma. I know I got that. But anyway, they get beat by Baron Corbin and Apollo. They moved on to the next round. Well, I don't know if you consider it rounds, but let's call them rounds for the sake of the conversation here. There was a point where Cruz had a pretty bad landing on a belly to back suplex. He got basically folded. And I don't know if that actually injured him or if it, just kind of stunned him for a minute, but he did look like he was a little nervous there. But it was a pretty nasty fall. But yeah, he was able to finish it, and then the Profits came out. Street Profits come out, and basically, I don't remember if that belly to back was during the Street Profits round there, but basically Profits pin Cruz, then the Profits move on to the next round, and Pretty Deadly come out. Now, Pretty Deadly, they're basically the homoerotic tag team. But I feel like, it's wrestling. They have at least characters. It's a personality. It's I guess a bit generic in the sense of like, it's almost like every generation had sort of a homoerotic tag team. Chuck and Billy, I guess that's kind of where I get the vibe of Chuck and Billy in the Pretty Deadly group or tag team. But at least they're trying. They're doing something. They're showing some personality. They're taking chances out there. That's they're also they work well together. I think the two guys work well together. They're a legit prepackaged tag team. And there's going to be actually a conversation that's going to come later where I think they need to figure out tag teams and how to push these tags. They've been struggling with this for a long time. But I was really getting the feeling while I was watching this, because this is the point of the match where I felt like it started to drag a little bit, was when Pretty Deadly, it started out pretty hyped and energized, and then somewhere in the middle of this Pretty Deadly Profits clash, it started to like sort of die. Like I was like, I don't think they have good chemistry, those two teams. But yeah, basically there was a point where I'm just watching it and I'm just thinking like, Montez needs to go solo. I think it's time. I think it's time for him to break away. I think this tag team is going nowhere. They've done everything they pretty much, I think, done everything they can with that tag team. This B-Fab combination is going nowhere. Bobby Lashley, is he injured or did they break them up? I don't know. But that team I sort of liked, that group, but I think Montez just needs to break away, go solo. Time for Montez, because I think he's going to be a huge baby face, singles baby face one of these days. And I think it's getting very close to that time. He's getting wasted. It's starting to get to that point where I think he's being wasted in the Street Profits. And Dawkins, I don't know where he's going to sort of fall. Like, as I was watching this match, I don't know if anybody's made this comparison before, but he really reminds me of D'Lo Brown. He looks just like D'Lo Brown at points. He wrestles like D'Lo Brown. He moves like D'Lo Brown. Yeah, that's what I see in him. I don't know if I'm not really particularly fond of his personality. I think it's kind of generic, but at least he has a personality. Maybe he'll turn into something himself. I don't know. That's if you get lucky, but you have definite money with Montez. But yeah, it's one of those things, is WWE just like, they're too comfortable with where Montez is. They're afraid to break up the team because it's something that basically still works, but you run the risk of keeping him there too long. You want to break them up when they are hot, because then you can at least kind of maneuver that into Montez's solo career. Or you have Dawkins be the one to turn on him, and that way it's like at least you have that Montez isn't the one that ruined the good thing for the fans, and Dawkins goes right into being a heel. Maybe you could pull that off. Who knows? But then, I get to the thing of like, the WWE sometimes doesn't want to, and Triple H doesn't want to commit to anything new. It takes them forever to finally commit to it. Okay, but let me move on, because I'm going to speed through the rest of these. Profits pin Pretty Deadly. The Profits basically were the workhorses through this whole gauntlet. They pin Pretty Deadly, then the OC comes out. Why are they still there? I don't fucking know. They're just a waste of time. Never really amounted to anything in the WWE, I don't think, beyond the AJ Styles pairing there. But yeah, I don't know what they're still there. It's just a tag team to throw in. That's how I felt. But again, I was still kind of bored through this. This is where the match dragged and didn't pick up through the whole OC time being there. There was a point where Dawkins almost fucking like face planted right into the announce table, almost took out his fucking the bottom row of his teeth. Almost left his teeth in Michael Cole's lap. I don't even know if Michael Cole's there. Who is it? Corey Graves? Yeah. But yeah, basically Profits pin OC and then move on to the final round. And that is where the Bloodline makes their entrance. I'm going to take one. Bloodline makes their entrance. Jacob Fatu and Tonga make their way to the ring with the entire Bloodline. And basically, well, I think this was the first time we saw and heard Jacob Fatu's entrance. I thought his entrance was great. His entrance felt like a problem was coming down to the ring. It felt like hell. Business just picked up Hellfire and Brimstone, but as a Samoan. But I liked his entrance music. I thought it was pretty badass. I thought his entrance was badass. I thought the pyro going with the music and them just kind of making their way to the ring. I thought it was good. I thought it was a nice aesthetic to the Jacob Fatu thing. And plus we always have the complaints about how shitty music is nowadays. I was happy that they gave him a pretty good theme song. I thought it was pretty decent. But yeah, this is where I'll start nitpicking a little bit. I felt like, and I could have sort of not been paying attention as hard as I thought, but I felt like they should have kind of played up a little more, maybe with the Profits that, oh fuck, it's the Bloodline. Almost like we kind of, in this whole mist of all this whole thing, oh, we forgot the Bloodline's coming. I felt like the Profits could have played that up a little bit more. I'm not saying have a fucking full-on panic attack, but maybe showing their face like, oh, fuck. Like, give it kind of a little more of a sell. Again, I'm nitpicking here. I thought also to nitpick, I thought Jacob took a little too much damage. I felt like the Bloodline really should have just came in and picked up the pieces of the Profits. That way the Profits could still be protected. They had to go through 3 or 4 other teams before the Bloodline. So them getting beat kind of easy wouldn't have taken away from their effort. But again, I'm nitpicking. I thought the ending was pretty decent. I thought the Bloodline picking up the win was the right call. They should be winning. I think they're going to start collecting some gold. I'm at the point where I hope Solo Sikoa actually beats Cody Rhodes, because anything but Cody, anyone but Cody. Yeah. So I'm gonna say that I think the Bloodline are actually gonna pick up that title win. I believe it's gonna happen at SummerSlam, right? I think they're just gonna pick up that title win anyway. I think they're just gonna start giving them some gold. You got to build them up so you could tear them down. So I think at least that'll give them a little more. I don't think Solo is ready to be the champion yet, but again, at this point, I'm almost just, I kind of want to see it, because I almost want to see Roman come back, because I don't want to see Roman come back and get his fucking revenge on Cody for winning. Please. I have no interest in that. But Solo with the belt could be interesting. However, there's talks that Roman is going to come back at SummerSlam, but now I'm a little more against that idea. I think I'm not even against the idea. I think it would be cool if he did, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think SummerSlam, I have the strange feeling that Solo may actually win by hook or by crook. I think it's going to be by crook. He's going to beat Cody Rhodes. I know I may be reaching. He's going to beat Cody Rhodes, and then that even gives Roman extra to go at the Bloodline. I know you don't really need it, but them running like that, he really did take Roman's place. And he's got his new Usos, he's got his new stable, new enforcer, and now he's the champion with the shells around his neck. I think that's where the story kind of goes. But I know I'm reaching. It's probably gonna be fucking whoa music at the end of SummerSlam. Everybody hit their whoa. That's gonna be it. Yeah. Speaking of whoa guy, Cody Rhodes has a video package veiled as an exclusive interview. Again, I've been talking about this. WWE likes their filler. Even you can't even make the excuse that it's because it's a 3-hour show, because this is on Smackdown. They had like more filler than fucking Raw. I'll be honest. But now that's like the norm. We have at least 2, maybe 3 video packages for a wrestler on the show. And it's just basically highlights of what they do or what their career was or whatever. But that's what this was. Cody Rhodes kind of just, it started out as sort of an interview, but it was really him just kind of sound biting, talking over footage. But yeah. Fucking done with that guy. Done with him. Have you seen this this YouTube channel? This YouTube show they have now? It's Cody Rhodes talking to random wrestlers, having conversations. It's called Cody Rhodes. What do you want to talk about? And he sits on his bus and he talks to certain wrestlers about random things. It's whatever they want to talk about. Made an observation too. Is Cody Rhodes an alcoholic? Because his bus is just littered with bottles of liquor. Does he sponsor a liquor company or something? Because there was liquor in every fucking shot. All over his bus. I think that was liquor. I'm pretty sure that was liquor. But yeah, Cody Rhodes can't have, even in that setting, even in a podcast setting, he can't have like a genuine conversation with people. He just fucking makes me sick. All right. Terrence Crawford, he's been all over SmackDown lately. They must be doing some kind of thing. Some kind of like a Mike Tyson thing with him. But basically he knocks out Austin Theory. This was kind of another, I could kind of see this type of segment happening on SummerSlam. Why it happened here? Maybe they're setting up for something with Terrence Crawford. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, that happened. Terrence Crawford knocks out Austin Theory after Grayson Waller talks a bunch of shit. Let's see. Without the head of the table. Let me see what you guys are saying here. You know what? Maybe I'll do it while I talk about it. Cody's articulation is terrible. I think one of the reasons is that, I guess there's continuation there. I see where you're going. The bloodline is not the same without Roman Reigns. Without the head of the table, there will not be a bloodline. Not be a bloodline. This will be perfect for WWE Network or in Peacock. Yeah, I mean, but that's the storyline. That is the storyline, Muhammad. We're supposed to kind of feel uncomfortable about this bloodline. We're not supposed to accept Solo Sikoa as the tribal chief. The way I put it is that this isn't official bloodline business. He's gone rogue. The way you got to picture it in your mind is that the family, the elders, are actually like sitting at home like, Solo, this is not good. But he's not answering the phone for them. He's going rogue from the family. So that's how I put it in my stupid kiddish mind to make myself enjoy certain things. Is what is the family thinking? And Sika just died. What are they doing? They're disgracing him. I'm talking about for the Cody Rhodes new stuff going on. What do you want to talk about? Yeah, he had an episode with R-Truth, and they were trying to have this banter, but it was almost like he was trying to be serious with R-Truth, and it's like you can tell R-Truth is like, bro, I'm never serious. What are you doing? It's almost like he's the Undertaker of comedy. He doesn't break character, R-Truth. That's why he's great. He'll do an interview and he doesn't take anything serious. And then Cody Rhodes like, no, but seriously, let's tell me why. He's like, they were trying to do this thing where R-Truth was like, Cody Rhodes has held a grudge against me. Like he was trying to play off like this joke thing with him that I think R-Truth actually holds more wins over Cody Rhodes than Cody Rhodes holds over R-Truth. So R-Truth was trying to make a joke out of it, and Cody's like, I felt like he was like taking it serious almost. It's like, can you not read the fucking room? I don't know. I will admit that I could be blinded by my hatred for Cody Rhodes, and I just can't appreciate anything he does. But I know fakeness when I see it. I know not genuine people when I see them. That was my problem with John Cena for a while. And I've been saying this for a long time. Cody Rhodes is just playing the version of John Cena that everybody hated. He's playing the version of John Cena that became polarizing. The corporate John Cena. All right, let me move on with Smackdown here. So we had the next thing was a little promo between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. Again, Carmelo Hayes, he's boring. And I hate to just use that blanketed statement that he's boring, but he's just boring me. He has no sense of humor, no timing, no delivery, no substance to anything he says. Anything he says. He says like very generic, like sports things. He'll say things like, Carmelo, what do you think about how you going to fare in tonight's match? When I shoot my shot, I don't miss. I'm like LeBron. When I shoot, it's a 3. Swish. You might as well just go family. Scoop, self-serve. It's like, I get what he's trying to do, but it's dull. It's dull. He's like the athletic the athletic popular kid that's only popular because he's athletic. Because then there's some athletic popular kids that are also cool. You could fucking talk to them and joke around with them. But then there's always that asshole who walks around like, with sunglasses in fucking reading class. And he walks around, doesn't talk to anybody, sits in class quietly, but he's a star athlete. We don't like that fucking asshole. We don't like him. Which I hear that's how Carmelo Anthony was as a student. Maybe that's where he's trying to be Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo. Mellow. I get it. He's athletic. He's a guy that should really he should be speaking in the third person. I'm not even joking. He should be doing the where did that come from? Was that Primetime? The football player, I can't think. Barry Sanders? Is that who did it? I don't remember. But yeah. The Rock definitely, that's where he took it from. But The Rock, Carmelo should be referring to himself as Carmelo or Mello. Like he should never say I or me. But yeah, he's very generic, very boring. I think he needs to be more funny. I made this observation last week. The Rock was funny. If he's doing a Rock kind of thing, The Rock was funny. That's why we liked him. That's why we ended up liking him. But yeah, Hayes just bores me. I'll tell you though, Andrade, I do like Andrade's little character that he's doing. Now, is it just me or is Andrade exaggerating his accent? Because I don't remember him ever like speaking with that thick of an accent. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I actually like it. I like it because it adds some kind of depth and character to him, and it sounds genuine. But somebody tell me in the chat, did he always speak that way? Because I don't remember him speaking that with that heavy of an accent. But I don't know if maybe he always has, and maybe he figured out some kind of way to make it a little extra, like extra cool, because he kind of has a cool element to him. It's Scarface-ish. Like everybody likes to mimic Scarface. I think that it's kind of going down that route. So I'm starting to kind of pick up on what Andrade is doing. But again, he doesn't fully have my attention, but I like his so far the past like 3 or 4 promos I heard from him. I actually, I liked it because it was something, it was different. It was different. And he doesn't sound like, a Hispanic guy who talks proper and is trying to appeal to his demographic. He sounds like a dude who really speaks that way. So, and Andrade as well has a sense of humor. He actually gets like timing, and he gets like facial expressions. He gets things like that where you hear the crowd sometimes genuinely laugh at sometimes he'll just make a face and the crowd will genuinely laugh at it. So I'm starting to see there's a little something there in Andrade that I didn't see before. And I encourage him to keep doing what he's doing. Keep doing what he's doing. But he is missing some things. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I think a lot of these guys, what they're missing is something from their look. A lot of them look too like polished and too clean. Like sometimes I like, wrestle. That's why Mick Foley was so great. He'd come out looking like shit. Come out looking like a homeless man sometimes. Actually, every time. But I like that kind of thing. I like somebody who's not always completely polished. Sometimes I like wrestling that isn't perfect. I like some certain times where you'll see like little botches, or they'll go for a scoop slam and sort of fuck it up, but they'll still hit it. You know what I mean? Like I like that kind of stuff because it adds it adds realism to it because it is real. But these guys come out, they're all like shiny. They're all wearing jewelry. They're wearing suits. It's like there's nobody who's just fucking there. Kevin Owens, I guess, is one of them. It's like even Sami Zayn is like a legit fucking bum in real life, and he fucking, he even comes out sometimes looking too clean and polished. You know what I mean? But yeah. But he is at least somebody who dumbs it down a little bit. Yeah, I think Andrade maybe needs a little bit of an edge to his look. I don't know, maybe some tattoos, something. But then tattoos are generic at this point. Needs something. I just don't know exactly what. Maybe dress a little more street. Because I get it, he's going for the sort of Scarface kind of thing. But I'll leave it there. That's the positives. And the night ends with Solo cutting a whispering promo. Just whispering. A whisper threat. Nothing to say there. I'll be honest. What do you say? He's been doing the same promo more or less for the past couple weeks now. They're all kind of standing up behind him, holding the shells. It's all right. It's okay, the presentation, but again, he's missing something from his promo. He's missing something. A danger element, something on how he's delivering it. Maybe his voice is just too weak. I don't know. Let's see. All right, I'll answer this random question. Who you think will win between Damian Priest or Gunther? Who you think will win, Damian Priest or Gunther? Gunther. I think it's time that Gunther gets that world title. I think everything. By the way, I've already covered this, so you can go watch my past videos on it. I literally just covered this whole thing, but I'll give you a quick recap, and then you can get the details. But I think Gunther, it's time for him to get that belt. Damian Priest's run has been boring to me. I think the title's become more of a prop in that whole Judgment Day kind of storyline. And I feel like his whole leadership angle is kind of just like got lost in the shuffle because the Judgment Day has so many storylines going on right now that it's like he was doing that whole like power struggle thing and that kind of just got lost. It didn't really go anywhere. And then Rhea came back and that changed the whole game. So I don't know. I felt like they should have played up more on them falling apart and then Rhea comes back and kind of pieces everybody back together. I don't think they really capitalized on that unless their thing is that they're just gonna this is where I think that whole thing is gonna go, is that I really do believe Dominic is gonna turn on Rhea, end up with Liv. Liv's gonna retain the title, but Dominic isn't gonna straight up break away from the Judgment Day. He's still gonna be like kind of trying to linger around, and that's gonna be the story, is him like, guys, it wasn't about us. It was about Rhea and this and that. And that's going to sort of dissipate the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day isn't necessarily going to have a straight up break. I don't think it's going to more fall apart because they've kind of abandoned the whole thing of, I feel like they have, of their tension between Finn and Damien, but they can always go back to that. They can always go back to that even if they just dissipate. I get the feeling it's more like there was a point I think DX kind of did that. And that's where the whole Latino heat angle kind of came in. And I could be remembering this wrong. My memory could be a little shoddy on this, but I remember during the Latino heat storyline, Billy Gunn was kind of hanging around China still, but not in a weird way. He was like kind of the best friend to China. So that there's this like famous promo where Eddie Guerrero is chasing China because she caught him with the Godfather's hose on GTV. God damn, it was so great back then. Listen to all these things that were intertwined. Caught with Godfather's hose and was exposed on GTV. And then China saw it, and then Eddie was chasing her, and she drives off, and then Eddie turns around, and Billy Gunn's standing there, and he's like, "You stupid son of a bitch. You just fucked up the greatest woman in your life," with a shitty drawl. But basically, I think Damian Priest is actually going to play that role, where he's actually, because if you remember, while Rhea was gone, he was kind of the one keeping in touch with her. He knew she was going to be there before anybody else. And I feel like they're going to play more of a like, they're just best friends, Rhea and Damien. And that'll always be a thing that kind of they'll revisit every now and then. Or maybe, random backstage segments. He'll have the conversation with Dom on how he fucked up, which isn't going to make sense though, because if they were to do it, because I'm just making this up, but if they were to do it now and I think about it, it wouldn't make sense because Rhea was kind of toxic. She was toxic. So he can't have the like, hey, you fucked up the greatest relationship and she was a good woman and this, it doesn't make sense. But I think Damien is going to play that role. So yeah, I think it's all those storylines are going to like play into each other where Gunther plays in. I don't know. I think they just have a straight up match. Gunther wins, takes that title away from that whole picture. And then Gunther could be, go on his monster heel run with the world title. And I really think Ludwig Kaiser needs to be Gunther's mouthpiece because they're wasting him by not doing anything with him. And he's an all right wrestler, but I think he's better suited as Gunther's manager. Because Gunther's getting better on the mic, I think, but he's not. I'd rather Gunther be like, I'd rather have never heard Gunther speak for like years. I thought he was better as the silent killer, the silent fucking brute. And him having Kaiser, this hateable, great talking mouthpiece, would have been a good fit, I think. And then you have Kaiser, who can be, who can take bumps and he can have matches when you need him. But yeah, what do I know? What do I know? Oh, well, I'll tell you something I know. WWE, I've been saying this for a while, doesn't have any real stars, right? And I know, a lot of people agree with my take on that. And I actually saw something that made me, that validated that opinion. I'm going to show you here in a second. Because if you know the restaurant, there's a restaurant called Bojangles. And WWE is doing this basically this promotion with them where it's a legendary tag team. And I get it, we're talking about legendary tag teams here, but legendary tag team Bojangles tags with WWE. Now, I'm gonna put this up. Obviously, the promotion is legendary tag team, but I think there's a reason why they came up with this promotion, and it's because actually I'm gonna show you the shot first and see if you guys recognize anything. Because the first thing I recognized when I saw this, I'll give you guys in the chat 1 second here. Tell me if you recognize what's going on. You get these collectible cups featuring WWE superstars. But tell me what you notice about the superstars on the cups. And what I noticed is that every single one of them are superstars of the past. And I really do believe that that's why WWE or Bojangles had this idea of legendary tag team. It's because I don't think they could feature any current wrestlers on cups and it actually mean anything. I think that's why WWE has to go back to their, to their archives. Like literally, you're telling me Dudley Boys. You know what? Fuck that. The Hart Foundation. Which, let's be real, they may have been like, I don't even think they were really big during their time. The Hart Foundation. We're talking about the Anvil and fucking Bret Hart. That's not the group, the Hart Foundation. That's the tag team. Guess legendary tag team to wrestling fans. Point being, though, they pick the Hart Foundation because they know that that'll sell more than anybody on the roster now. Again, because they don't have any real stars. Of course, Undertaker, Kane, the Outsiders. What is that, 1996? You get what I'm saying? None of these are current. And it's because they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. Even during the PG era, during the Attitude Era, they never did this type of shit. They didn't have like Burger King, WWE collectible cups. Get your Bruno San Martino cup. No, they had Austin, Rock, Foley, Undertaker. Like, that's your four right there. Sell all the cups you fucking need. Even during the PG era, I don't think they really did. This is the difference. During the PG era, they would like maybe slip in. They would have mostly legends, but they would slip in maybe two or three like current guys. They'd put a Sheamus, they'd put a John Cena. I don't think Daniel Bryan ever made a cup. I think CM Punk made a few. I think I had a CM Punk collectible cup at one point. But yeah, I don't think it would have worked doing it today. I think most people would see it and go, who the fuck is this guy? You put Cody Rhodes on a cup, it just looks ridiculous. They'd look, somebody that doesn't know wrestling would go, why is there a white trash lesbian on my cup? And what is this shitty neck tattoo? Why is it a neck tattoo that kind of bleeds over to his face depending on what side he's looking? You ever notice that? If he looks this way, his neck tattoo is like here. They really fucked up on that placement. I think whoever that tattoo artist was, like, I'm not even joking, should be suspended from tattooing. Because I think any tattoo artist, a lot of them won't even tattoo you on your neck that way unless you have other work kind of done. Maybe that's an old thing. I don't know if new tattoo artists give a fuck. I bet you they don't. That's an old thing probably. But yeah, there's like some tattoo artists won't do a ridiculous looking tattoo. They just won't do it. But I'm sure now it's probably all about the money. It's all about the money. But yeah, I don't think they could put anybody on these cups that are current, and it would make a fucking difference, or sell cups. I don't think these are selling cups. I don't think these are even selling sandwiches. I don't know why they even do it. I guess it's just a promotion. Just let's pay each other some money here. Two companies paying each other money. All right. I'll read through the chats and then I'll get out of here. My fucking neck is like stiff. All right. I do appreciate all you guys. Drop your comments, drop your questions if you want. If you give a fuck about my answer. Will you wait? Hold on. Will you start, Muhammad Belhassin? Will you start doing Raw and SmackDown review? Well, I started doing that. And Dynamite. And he plans on doing it. The Kayfabe Kartel. No. I can't get through AEW. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're an AEW fan, but I can't waste my time with it. I really can't. Plus, I do another podcast, so my time is somewhat limited. Plus, I work a full-time job, a career, an actual career outside of this. But I cannot watch that. It's that indie type of fucking wrestling brought to the mainstream, and I can't get into it. I really can't. I started watching AEW when it first started, and I was like, all right, we got something here. We got something. And then it just kind of fell apart into this just shitty indie fucking what's the word I'm looking for? It's the wrestling I always complain about, that even WWE, the smart mark fucking fans that they cater to a lot of the times. That's the whole reason why we have Cody Rhodes as the world champion right now. That was Triple H catering to that fan base, the toxic fan base, the toxic side of the fan base, the people who aren't even real wrestling fans. That's how I've always put it, and I'll always put it that way, because they're the ones who see quintessential wrestling. They'll watch a Hulk Hogan match, a man who fucking toured the world and sold probably billions of tickets. Maybe I'm over exaggerating. Made hundreds of millions of dollars, revolutionized the industry, but they'll look at him and go, he doesn't know how to wrestle. Then you're not a wrestling fan. If you don't like how wrestling was when it was at its greatest point, when it was wrestling, when it was old school wrestling, then you're not a real wrestling fan. That was wrestling, and they destroyed it. They ruined it. So No, I won't be doing Dynamite. Because they represent everything, even ideologically. They represent everything that's wrong with the world to me in the form of wrestling. Every single thing that's wrong with the world. Political correctness, all of it. Wokeness, it's all in there. All in there. Yeah, I can't get into it. So it's not just because of that, because I can watch things even though it's woke. Like, for instance, I'm a huge fan of The Boys. I thought The Boys season, everybody's complaining about it. I thought it was decent. I thought it was all right. I do think they changed the ending because of the Trump thing that happened. I think something else was supposed to happen at the end of that season. But yeah, I don't, sorry, I should give spoiler alert, right? If you're a fan of The Boys. We should have watched it by now. Come on, you son of a bitch. I'll just say this: I thought it ended in an anticlimactic way, and I think that's because of the Trump assassination attempt. I thought something else was supposed to happen, and then they went back and did a quick edit, and was like, "All right, let's change this up." But yeah, I could watch things that are woke and still enjoy it. But it's the wokeness and all that stuff, and then compile that on. No, it's not even the wokeness. It's the fact that it's a shitty wrestling product, and then compile all that other stuff onto it. It makes me go, all right, that makes it easy for me to say no. Easy. And I find it funny because anytime that I've did, like, because I do a lot of criticisms on WWE, and a lot of it, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but a good amount of people have always hit me with the comment that I'm a AEW mark. I'm getting paid by Tony Khan. It's like, I please. Tony Khan's not going to cut me in on his Coke money. You know what I mean? He's not going to cut in on his Coke money to pay fucking low grade podcasters. And I have 200 and something subscribers. You think he's going to pay me to fucking badmouth WWE? You goddamn retard. Jesus Christ. Just like people think WWE pays me to just talk about them. Are you dumb? Now, if WWE wanted to pay me, I'd take it. I'd gladly take it. Are you kidding me? I'd take it and probably fuck it up, but I'd take it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie about that. I'm not gonna pretend. There's a lot of dudes in wrestling podcasting that if they got the same offer that fucking Sam Roberts got tomorrow, they'd be sucking WWE's cock. Every single one of them that pretend they're. It's easy to say you wouldn't do it if you know you would never get the fucking offer. But I'm not gonna be a WWE shill in order to get it. I know WWE is never going to come to me, but I'm just saying. If they were. A lot of people think I defend Vince because I'm getting paid by WWE. Are you stupid? And that's another thing with these smart marks. They hate Vince McMahon. They hate him with a passion. And it's like, the man who fucking made your childhood possible? Yeah, fuck that guy. What? Because he didn't appreciate dudes who did tope suicidas and Frankensteiners. It's like, shut the fuck up. What do you know? And I love it. I love the fact that their company, because they had this company, AEW, that they were like, you know what? We're going to do everything opposite of Vince McMahon. And we're going to show you that he was out of touch the whole time. And look what's happening. It's a failure of a company. They're struggling to build an audience beyond what they already had. Because we see that smart mark bullshit audience are the only people that likes that type of wrestling. And what does it matter? Because the smart marks will still watch the quintessential old school wrestling. They'll just complain about it. Let them complain. At least we're all watching it. Nobody watches that shit because it's not watchable. None of it makes sense. The wrestlers don't sell. They do these devastating moves. They do fucking 4 Canadian destroyers and then pop right back up and do an enziguri on the guy who just did the Canadian destroyers on them. All right. Well, fuck the Canadian destroyer. That move's over with. It's all they I'm starting to sound like Jim Cornette. They're killing the goddamn business. It's all that, like, we're gonna sacrifice the business. We're gonna sacrifice kayfabe and the whole like story of it just to get this little inside joke off, just to make those guys chuckle in the audience and make them go, oh, I get it. Do you get it? Because he said that on Twitter. Oh, he's working. He's working, man. Fucking lames. Fucking lames. Losers. Losers, all of them. Smart marks are fucking losers. And I mean this personally. This isn't just wrestling. Personally, they're fucking losers. And nobody likes them. Nobody likes that type of person in real life. They think being overcritical, it like makes them more interesting. They think cheering for John Cena or cheering for Hulk Hogan when he does the ear thing, they go, oh, that's so tacky. Go fuck yourselves. But they know better. They can barely fucking sell out arenas, but they know better. They know better. Cody Rhodes is a magnificent champion. He's the greatest ever. You notice anytime you say Cody Rhodes sucks, they never really give you reasons why he's good. They just tell you, they give you excuses on why he sucks. Hey, WWE, book him right. What do you mean? He can't cut a promo. He's not interesting. But WWE, not booking him right. They put him in the Bloodline story. I had somebody tell me that the reason why SmackDown sucks is because of the Bloodline. And it's like, never in the history of wrestling has a mid-card been blamed for bad ratings. It's always the champion that takes the brunt. That's why they're the champion. They're supposed to be the ratings draw. Yeah. So no, Muhammad, I will not be doing Dynamite reviews. The only thing I think about sometimes is maybe NXT, just to answer, like, to give you an answer on what we plan on doing. I just don't have the time to watch NXT, and it's a thing that I have to like jump into because I don't know anything that's going on. Last time I watched NXT was back when Enzo Amore and Big Cass were fighting fucking Alpha Academy, the original Alpha Academy. I think, was that their name? No, their name wasn't Alpha Academy, was it? American Alpha. That's who it was. And when Bayley was in NXT and Shinsuke, I think Shinsuke may have been the last guy I saw in NXT. That might have been the last time I watched it. Was his debut, and then not too much after that. But there was a point where NXT was fucking amazing, where it was actually the only wrestling I was watching back in that time. You know what? There may be a short period of time that happened because there was some good wrestling going on at that time. Again, I get spotty sometimes on my memory of times and dates and whatnot. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Oh, well, let me shout out people also. Orlando Orlando Connor. Almost turned you into a Mick there. Almost called you O'Connor. Orlando Connor. Appreciate you. Appreciate you for coming through. You asked me about Damian Priest and Gunther earlier. Ricky Cornflakes. That's a mafia name right there. That's Ricky Cornflakes. I don't know if Gervonta Davis shows up, I'm crying. Somebody said UFC is on right now, right? Joshua, I missed you there. Joshua Jaquez. Appreciate you. Boban, my friend, Boban, my Turkish friend. Shout outs to you. Of course, Mohammed. I think I shouted you out already, but I'll give you another one. Actually, let's put up Mohammed's positive comment for the day. I'm gonna leave that up there. And Skrill Revive, appreciate you. Thank you for jumping in and leaving a like. I know he's probably not even here, but still appreciate you, man. Turning into a big time supporter of the show there. Skrill Revive. Keep up Mohammed's comment. And on the way out here, let me give you some plugs, some pluggeroonies. Of course, buy us a coffee. Sorry, Mohammed, I got to take you down. Buy us a coffee at Misfit Nation. If you want to show some support, go ahead and buy me a coffee. Or buy me a coffee. But it's us because we have a little squad on the other side, on the non-wrestling side of this. Also, speaking of the non-wrestling side, you can wait, what's going on here? There we go. You can follow us on our social medias, our YouTube channel at Misfit Nation, Rumble, Odyssey, all those things, X, Instagram, Facebook. I'll be honest, I'm not too active on the Facebook, Instagram anymore, but X, you can follow me at Crishaun the Don on X. I'm very active on that. If you want the audio version of, actually, I don't do, you know what? I may start putting the, or get our own stream for the Kayfabe Kartel for Podbean, but we don't have one for Kayfabe Kartel yet. We'll grow the audience first, and then we'll start migrating some guys over there. We'll see if there's a demand for it. If people want to hear us talk about wrestling, just audio. But if you want the audio version of the Misfit Nation, which is our other channel, or just want to be in touch with us or be in touch with what we do, the Kayfabe Kartel in general, at Misfit Nation, misfitnation.podbean.com. And of course, shop misfitnation.com if you want to get some shirts and merchandise and whatnot. We've got cups. See? We've got cups, mugs, shirts, guns. We have guns. Not available at Misfit Nation. Trump. That's not available at Misfit Nation either. That's probably a bad plug. Why am I plugging other people's stuff? Trump 2024. But shop misfitnation.com. Go ahead and grab some shirts and gear and stuff and blankets and pillowcases and pillows. There's a pillow behind me. Misfit Nation pillow. None of this stuff. That's all random merch. All right, guys. Thank you again so much. Sorry, I'm trying to find the end here. Okay. All right. Wasn't too bad there. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Thank you so much. I'm out. Peace.
You want to be a friend of the cartel?
Ladies and gentlemen, making their way to the studio, they are the most dangerous podcast in sports entertainment. Crishaun the Don and Wunda from Kayfabe Kartel.
You're staying. You belong to the cartel now.